First and foremost, all praises Kal Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Hakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Araki coming back with a lesson. And in this one I want to concentrate on King Solomon and how he had a no nonsense spirit. Okay? So I want to go concerning this. Yeah. I want to see the point. Okay, so it's in the first chapter. Okay. So I'm just be reading on down. So this was when, King David was about to, pass the torch, and it was redeemed in the spirit that his son Solomon, who is Yahushai, is the next one to rule Israel. But Solomon's brother Adonijah wanted to take the spot. So here you can see how Solomon dealt with him. Okay? I remember he was a man of great wisdom, because he asked for wisdom, knowledge and understanding, okay, to judge this people Israel. And that answer pleased the Most High. He didn't ask for, bitches and nice chariots, horse chariots and lots of gold, money, bitches and means of transportations. But now he asked for wisdom to judge this great people Israel. So then he got that and the money, the woman, the fame, everything. 1 Kings 1:1. Now King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he got no heed. Wherefore his servant said unto him, Let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may get heed. Okay, so they fought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him, but the king knew her not. Okay, and you best believe that damsel, Abishag, she wasn't no, 28 years old, And in the old world, the customs were different. Okay, and it says here, but the king knew her not. Okay, verse 5, here's going into the point. Then Adonijah the son of Haggith exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared him chariots and horsemen, and 50 men to run before him. And his father had not displeased him at any time in saying, Why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man. And his mother bare him after Absalom. Okay. Which Absalom also, one of the sons of King David, that caused him much issues. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'm gonna check something up. Gone. So I wanted to check concerning King David's sons, so I can get the history right. Okay. So I asked ChatGPT, and they led me here to 2 Samuel. Now there was, I'm beginning at 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 1. Now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. Okay? which this is a beautiful scripture, by the way, because nowadays you have the elect, which is house of David, and the non-elect, which is house of Saul, you know, the 2/3 of our people who are just straight up niggas, you know. Lord William make video on that Drewski motherfucker, and his, you know, boring ass video concerning, you know, trying to mock the Hebrew Israelites, which that dude Drewski, you know, he ain't nothing but just, you know, vanity, okay? It's just vanity and, you know, a failed case, okay? I don't care if he has so-called, you know, followers and, you know, fans, you know, in the eyes of men of understanding, he is nothing but a representation of vanity and meaningless life, okay? 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 2, and unto David were born sons in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and his second Gilead of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, which the Most High took out Nabal, you know. And the third Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur, and the fourth Adonijah, the son of Haggith, and the fifth Shephatiah, the son of Abital, okay, and the sixth Ithram by Eglah, David's wife. These were born to David in Hebron, which this also shows that, you know, we're supposed to have many wives. You see what's going on with King David, you know, all these different wives, man. You know, King David just, you know, spreading his seed, man, you know. So, you know, I asked about it, you know. Yes, we can also check that, you know, sons born in Hebron before David became king over all Israel. You have Amnon, son of Ahinoam, Chileab, son of Abigail. Then you have Absalom, then you have Adonijah, then you have Shephatiah, then you have Ithram. Okay, which I believe I read until that. Yeah. Then sons born in Jerusalem, Shammua, also called Shimea, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon. These four were sons of Bathsheba, and 9 other sons whose mothers are not specified. Ibhar, Elishua, Elpelet, Noga, Nepheg, Yapia, Elishama, Eliada, Elipelet. Okay? And then there is 1 Chronicles 3 and 9. All these were the sons of David, besides the sons of the concubines, and Tamar was their sister. This means David likely had additional sons not named in scripture. So somewhere David had at least 19 named sons plus others by concubines, number unknown, and 1 daughter, Tamar, full sister of Absalom. So, you see, but this, you know, beside the point of this lesson, but you have these modern day women, so-called, not accepting men having many women. You know, you you proud, okay, prideful. It's not good. Okay, so let's get back to 1 Kings chapter 1 verse 5. Then Adonijah the son of Haggith exalted himself, saying, I will be king, and he prepared him chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. Okay, so Adonijah wanted to be the next to rule, and his father, King David, had not displeased him at any time in saying, why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man, and his mother bare him after Absalom. Okay, and which reminded me of the elder man at the Zakba made a lesson a couple of days ago concerning this auntie, okay, you know, this so-called black female, which was saying, you know, them Israelites be fine AF, okay? This is in our nature, you know. And he also was a very goodly man, and his mother bare him after Absalom. So, you know, the scriptures speak about Absalom. Then also here you see concerning Adonijah. Okay? Verse 7, and he conferred with Joab the son of Joab the son of Zeruiah, and with Abiathar the priest, and they, following Adonijah, helped him. But Zadok the priest and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and Nathan the prophet, and Shimei and Ray, and the mighty men which belonged to David were not with Adonijah. Okay? So he tried to pretty much take the kingdom. And not pretty much, he tried to do it. And you had even Joab trying to follow him. Okay? So you know, this Adonijah, you know, he put up a feast, you know, verse 9 and 10, and Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fat cattle by the stone of Zoheret, which is by Enrogel, and called all his brethren, the king's sons, and all the men of Judah, the king's servants. But Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, and the mighty men, and Solomon his brother, he called not. Okay? Which, by the way, this Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over, you know, the army, you know, with Solomon ruling. You know, he was pretty much to Solomon what Joab was to King David. And you know, you read First Kings, the beginning chapters, or maybe it's just in this chapter, you're gonna see King David. You know, he just sent this Benaiah to unalive motherfuckers. You know. Yeah. So then Nathan, you know, intervened, and you know. So you know, King David said what he had to say, and you know, remember, he was old at this point. 1 Kings 1 and 28. Then King David answered and said, call me Bathsheba. And she came into the king's presence and stood before the king. And the king sware and said, as the Lord Yahweh liveth, that has redeemed my soul out of all distress, even as I swear unto thee by the Lord Yahweh power of Israel, saying, assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne in my stead. Even so will I certainly do this day. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and did reverence to the king and said, let my lord King David live forever. You know, the woman of today could read this passage. You know. So he heard of, you know, the fuckery Adonijah was doing, and then, you know, he, you know, orchestrated for King Solomon to be anointed king. Okay. You know, and the people came up with it. You know, the people said, Yahweh save King Solomon. And all the, verse 40, and all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth rent with the sound of them. And then Adonijah heard about it. Okay, and you know, the party that Adonijah had, you know, he was, you know, sacrificing these different cattle and, you know, getting ready to be king. Verse 49, and all the guests that were with Adonijah were afraid and rose up and went every man his way. You know, when they heard that King Solomon has been anointed, then, you know, that's where it's really at. So Adonijah pretty much wanted to start a conspiracy. So here is the point I want to show, you know, how King Solomon, you know, he was caught with it. Okay, so verse 50. And Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold on the horns of the altar. And it was told Solomon, saying, behold, Adonijah feareth King Solomon, for lo, he has caught hold on the horns of the altar, saying, let King Solomon swear unto me today that he will not slay his servant with the sword. And Solomon said, if he will show himself a worthy man, there shall not an hair of him fall to the earth. but if wickedness shall be found in him, he shall die. So King Solomon sent, and they brought him down from the altar. And he came and bowed himself to King Solomon, and Solomon said unto him, Go to thine house. Okay, so a King Solomon was like, hey, go to your home, Jake. Go home, man. So when I first read it, I thought that was cold. King Solomon, he didn't want to do anything with that, bullshit. He said, if there's wickedness found in him, he shall die. And after what happened is that this Adonijah, he went into speaking with, he started to speak. Yeah, here it is, 1 Kings 2 and 13. And Adonijah the son of Haggith came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. So he went to Bathsheba, and he wanted to take wife of the Abishai, the Shunammite that was, found to get King David going. Okay, so he wanted to ask this of King Solomon, but he did it in a roundabout way by asking Bathsheba, King Solomon's mother. Okay, so then you see what went on when Bathsheba asked about this to King Solomon. Verse 21, and she said, Let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah thy brother to wife. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why dost thou ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is mine elder brother, even for him and for Abiathar the priest and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Then King Solomon swore by the Lord Jehovah, saying, The Most High do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against his own life. So he said pretty much, hey, I'm gonna take this nigga out, because he onto something. So King Solomon knows that this his brother Adonijah, he was plotting something. He had something, a wickedness about him. Maybe he wanted to say that, hey, now I got the woman, that my father King David was, I'm just speculating, was, or this woman that was used for King David, my father, in his old age, and now I'm with this woman, and I inherited these things from King David, and now maybe I can be king or something, something off was about it, and also the way that he came about it by asking King Solomon's mother, not going to King Solomon directly. So King Solomon was like, hey, I'm gonna take this motherfucker out. Okay, verse 24. Now therefore, as the Lord Jehovah liveth, which has established me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who has made me an house as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him that he died. So you see, King Solomon, he had a no-nonsense policy. Okay, and that's how shy the scriptures speak and say that he's an austere man. Okay. Let me end the video with that. Luke 9:21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, Out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. So let's look up the word austere. Okay, which pretty much means a strict, no nonsense. It means you mean business. Okay, word of the day. I want to see austere. Okay, as stern and cold in appearance or manner, somber, grave, morally strict, ascetic, markedly simple or unadorned, giving little or no scope for pleasure. You know, it's pretty much being stoic. Door, fierce, flinty, forbidding, grim, gruff, intimidating, rough, rugged, severe, stark, steely, stern, ungentle. You know, so Yahushua, he means business. So Lord willing, this video was edifying. So until the next one, Shalom.